And there we go. Finally, had to reload YouTube once to get it to go. Facebook actually connected tonight. YouTube did not. Welcome back to another evening of the Nobody Show, Sunday night interactive live chat with a whole bunch of gearheads. Looks like I got a bunch of guys here rocking and rolling and ready to go. Buick Man's on with us. Neil's here. Pete's with us. Matt's back. Randy with a nut farm. Brian Dispatch. Balin Wire's here with us. Kevin L. made it. Glad you guys are here and ready to go. We are on Facebook tonight as well. It actually decided to work. So Jim's here. Dennis Chapman, Tractor Mike with us. So anyway, hope everybody had a great week. I know our week around here was horrible, and I know it got pretty much the whole country. Rusty Okie made it tonight. Andy here with us. So I hope it wasn't as bad as it was here, but I know it pretty much got everybody. Middle of the week, it was like highs of 11, lows in the negatives. Absolutely horrible. And then today it was mid-60s and beautiful and sunny. Number one's here. Nothing. I don't know, Andy. I don't have any idea if I've got anything like that. Mary's here with us. Yeah, that's an old one, number one. A lot of people, I'm sure most people don't even remember that old question, but yep, that's true. So anyway, finally broke at the end of the week, but basically I was stuck in the shop all week. Did actually hit an estate sale Friday, got a couple trucks bought there. So we got some interesting stuff to talk about for new inventory. But overall, pretty much our whole week stunk. Just, snow on the ground, horrible temperatures. You didn't even want to go outside. Literally, it was that bad. Bill Disc's here. So, fortunately, we're through that and looking pretty good for the rest of this week. Randy Weininger made it back tonight. Bill Wagaman's on. But hopefully spring's here. We have no sound on YouTube, so YouTube is not working. I thought YouTube was working, but or Facebook. All right, we'll have to restart. Well, we'll just bail off of Facebook. I thought it was going to work tonight. Apparently, it is not going to work tonight on Facebook. So I'm going to put a message out real quick on Facebook if you guys bear with me here for just a second. Rico and Jess here tonight. Okay, put a notice out there for people on Facebook to join us over here. Okay, that's right, Bill. You're getting thirsty. There we go. All right, just want to let everybody on Facebook know that it was not cooperating once again this evening. Austin's here with us. And let's go ahead and get ready to roll into tonight's show. Gonna try. I got one little thing I want to throw into tonight's show too. I'll be curious to see what you guys think of that. And we've got some cool stuff to talk about. In fact, Tractor Mike just threw some stuff up on the Nobody's page, it looks like. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, speaking of which, Tractor Mike did stop by today. It was great to see him. He had to check out what we found for him at the estate sale. We'll talk about that when we get into new inventory here in just a few minutes. But great seeing Tractor Mike. He just threw up a picture of the white that he got in November when he was here. Still sitting out at the yard. Haven't found a way to transport that huge thing back to his place yet. But it'll get it there. Jeff from Ottawa. But like I did mention, we did hit an estate sale on Friday. My buddy of mine that I work back and forth with that does a lot of like decorator and glass stuff, he had kind of an in on it. So he sent me some pictures of 2 trucks that were there that we got bought, as well as a tractor for Tractor Mike. Did a lot of digging in the barn, which was a lot of fun. I didn't find much. We found quite a bit of stuff for my buddy, household type stuff. Got a few things out of there. We did shoot some content while we were there. Obviously got the trucks exactly as I found them, and got some clips from digging in the barn. Unfortunately, I just didn't find much car stuff in the barn, but you don't not look, right? I mean, you have to dig, you have to look, you have to see what you can come up with. Waycamp's here. And just like I said, I got a few things, but overall for him, it was good. I didn't really find much other car stuff there. Alex with us. But we did get a few things bought, so that's always a win. A couple other things I wanted to touch on tonight that we haven't done in a while. I've got a book to talk about. If you guys still like talking about books, we've done one or 2 of those here and again. Waycamp stole Tractor Mike's low boy. There you go. That means he should come get it for you, right, Tractor Mike? Yeah, I just put a notice up, Alec. It wasn't working. It's set up, and then we didn't have sound, so I just killed it. It's been constantly just, obviously Facebook's been a challenge the last few weeks as far as whether or not it's going to work. So when it wasn't working right again, I just knocked it out. So anyhow, Brett with us from California tonight. I was wondering where you're at this week, Brett, and I was hoping it was south because you didn't want to be around here. That's for sure. But glad you're with us from California. What are you hauling this week, Brett? But speaking of the No Buddies page, let's check that out real quick. Gary from Southwest Ohio here. Brett got a little pipe on. Speaking of the No Buddies page, let's check that out real quick, see what else has been going on the No Buddies page. Obviously, Tractor Mike with a picture of his white, as well as his newest tractor that we found Friday. The little dinky one behind it. So check it out on the No Buddies page. We found that at the estate sale on Friday. It is a Fordson Major Diesel, whatever that is. Tractor Mike said, I don't have one. Buy it. Okay. So we bought it. And it's here sitting behind his big white. His white's pretty massive. I tell you what, I couldn't believe it. That white has not started since Mike bought that like first week in November. I mean, literally like the first week in November, like 4 months ago. Okay. It was sub-zero this week here. And that tractor was outside. Tractor Mike hops up in that thing. And I mean, I literally took jumper cables with me because I figured we were going to have to hook it to the loader to get enough juice to it to get it to fire. Hits the key, it turned over about 3 times, and it lit off like that. Just woo, woo, boom, and she was going. I was like, are you kidding me? This thing's been sitting outside in sub-zero weather, hasn't been started in 4 months, and that 3208 Cat just lit off like that. I couldn't believe it. So check that thing out on the No Buddies page and take a look at that white. What else is going on over here? Oh, I've seen Big Job posting some YouTube video or YouTube links to some cool YouTube car stuff. Austin doing some interior work on the Suburban. That's because it isn't an international tractor. We'd still be out there trying to light it off. And yes, that's something I was watching for. Buick Man posted the pictures from the World War II Museum. I was waiting on those. I caught those the other day. I appreciate you throwing those up. Some really cool stuff there as well. The No Buddies page has been great, guys. We've been having a blast with it. Huge shout out to Zach and Andy for taking care of that for us. But a lot of cool stuff on there. I appreciate you guys engaging in that, sharing your stuff. It's turning into a great group over there. 92 members on there. few more people, we're going to be at 100. Holy cow. Great, Alec. Glad you got the 250th show plate. Looks better in hand than on video. Awesome. Glad you enjoy it. And I said I was lucky to find one that said 250 on it. I'll have to try to keep my eyes out to try to find something to match up with episode numbers. But just thought it was kind of cool to find a 250 for the 250th episode. Great Kitty, what are you doing over there? So anyway, if you're not on that page, the nobodies, go on there, answer the questions. Zach or Andy will get you approved and get you in the group so you can keep up with what's going on. Brett got to run some Route 66 this week. That'd be pretty fun. Five buildings at the World War II Museum. There's a lot of cool pictures you had. I do know that for sure. But anyway, something else I want to kind of throw in here. Grant from Nebraska here with us. I've been thinking about this for a while. Brian Dispatch just joined, so maybe he's number 93. I agree, Joe. There were some great pictures on there from the museum. Let's refresh, see if if we hit 93 now. No, we're still at 92. Hasn't caught up yet. I had another idea of another little short feature that we can kind of slide in here. I want to know what you guys think of it. I've got a bunch of these, so we can do all kinds of fun with it, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. But what I'd like to do, I think it would be kind of fun, is add a new short feature with an old Hemmings. Appreciate that, Randy. Yes, an old Hemmings Motor News. We love looking at classified ads, right? Whenever we do find them in a magazine, they're a ton of fun. Well, I've got all these old Hemmings. Why don't we just do a little bit every night? What do you guys think of that? Somebody give me a car brand, and we'll look at that real quick. This is a March of 1980 issue of Hemmings. Who remembers the old brown Hemmings? They were like this for eons. Kevin else says sounds good. Mike likes the idea. Austin says Chevy. What kind of Chevy truck? Is that what we're talking about? Everybody says Chevy. 55 Chevy. Let's look at Chevy cars. Okay. Let's see. Chevrolet cars for sale. Here we go. They make great firewood. Okay, let's look at a few Chevy cars for sale from 1980. Okay. Now, obviously most people remember these. There wasn't a lot of pictures in any of these, but we're just going to grab a handful. And like I said, every week, whenever we get to it, whatever the first car I see pop up, we'll go to that page and we'll look at a couple of them. 1968 Z28 Camaro, one of the finest, most original Z28s in existence, not been restored, 95% factory original. Dual quad cross ram, console gauge cluster, original white paint, black stripe, 16,000 miles. This one, there is a picture. I don't blame you, Andy. $8,900. Let's catch a few other Chevy cars. And like I said, we'll spend 5, 6, 8 minutes on this and just grab a handful. 55 Cameo, excellent condition, all black inside and out. $8,000. I think this is a project. 57 Corvette, 95% complete, fuely, red on red, many extra parts, $5,500. And there's actually not really much. These are kind of just dumped in here at this point. (1957) Chevy convertibles, rough, one with engine and transmission, $1,250 for 57 Chevy convertible project. Without engine and transmission, $1,100. How about an Auburn badge? Okay, let's catch a few more things in here and then move before we move on. 61 Impala two-door hardtop, factory air, snow white with red interior, 88,000 miles, $2,750 for 61 Impala hardtop. Here's one that's changed dramatically. 1959 Impala convertible, 348, power steering, power brakes, clean, solid Western car, runs excellent, new top, interior needs work, very easy restoration, $1,750 for a 59 Impala convertible. Let's look at a few more Chevrolets while we're here real quick before we get moving on. 55 Chevy convertible, black and white two-tone, V8 stick, mechanically excellent, fender guards, rock guards, door handle guards, new wide whites, beautiful, $79.95 for a 55 Chevy convertible. Yeah, Cord, that would be a good one. I don't want to get into the spend all night doing this. That's why we're just going to grab a handful every week. So, '58 Impala two-door hardtop, new stock seat inserts, new carpet, new paint, 6-cylinder, automatic, $2,650. 55 Chevy project car, convertible, rough with title, $800. 63 Corvette split window, all numbers match, saddle tan with leather saddle interior, 4-speed, 300 horse, 327, 67,000 miles, $12,500 for a split window. '58 Corvette, frame off restoration, red, restored fun driving, great investment, $9,500. So, yep, broke the $10,000 barrier. So anyway, if you guys like that, and like I said, we'll do it. We may work out of this one for a few weeks, and we'll grab another one from a different year, and we'll just kind of do that. Just kind of work it in 5, 6, 8 minutes every week, if you guys are cool with that. And maybe we'll see. Let's look at a couple more of these. What the heck? Cord, Daytona, and a DeLorean real quick, if we can find them real quick. C cars. Let's see if there's a Cord in the C cars. Cadillac does not even have its own section at this point. It is still in the C cars. Here's one. 36 Cord Phaeton, very early car, second oldest known. Complete correct drivetrain, air cleaner, horns, Newell stock top irons and other early items. Good car, but needs restored. $14,500 for a 36 cord Phaeton. And here again, other than Ford and Chevy, most of these are by letter. O cars, P cars. Literally, that's how these are listed in here. There's no Plymouth section, no Pontiac section. You can see right here, it goes from a Trans Am to a Porsche to a Plymouth because they all fall in there under the P listing. So, real quick, we'll see if there's any Superbirds. Then we'll look at a DeLorean. And then we'll probably go ahead and move on. Because like I said, we obviously could spend weeks in one of these. Especially when they're not even by make, when we're looking at P. Not seeing any Superbirds, but here's a CUDA. 70 CUDA convertible, 440 Magnum, automatic, factory accessories, too many to list, low miles. Purchased new in Phoenix, showroom original, mint condition, $5,600 for a 440 CUDA convertible. So let's look at D cars real quick, and then we'll move on. See if there is any DeLoreans in here. I'm good, Pete. But I don't see any DeLoreans. So anyway, what do you guys think? Should we kind of do this? Like I said, we could spend hours on it. I don't want to do that. But what do you guys think of grabbing 2 or 3 cars and checking it out? Austin likes it. Jess likes it. And I've got, like I said, and Balin Wire sent us some really old Hemmings. I've got a big stack of these old brown Hemmings. So you guys dig it. Like I said, we can take 5-10 minutes and do this, and it isn't going to hurt anything if you guys are digging it. So lots of thumbs up and yeses for that. So we'll just make that part of our deal if you guys are cool with it. And we'll check out some old Hemmings ads every week. So glad you guys like that. Sounds like a plan. Hey, look at that. I just refreshed the Nobody's page. We did get to 93 members. That must have been Brian. DeLorean came out. In fact, I just found the original brochure that Dad picked up at the NADA convention in like 78. So there would have been, so there could have been some out there, but that's probably why there wasn't unlisted yet, because I think production was just starting. So I just refreshed the Nobodies, and Randy with a Nut Farm posted a picture of me with his mobile truck he got last week. Yeah, you sent us a few of them, but we're going to start working some of those in as well. So, all right, I hear nothing but good about doing some of this. So we'll just make that part of our deal. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the trucks that did come in this week. Do the promo model, a badge, a hubcap, story time. I'm sure you guys want to do auction stuff. I cleaned some stuff up in here this week. I restuffed the auction boxes. I don't even know what's in them because I did that like 4 days ago and piled them up in the corner. But anyway, onward and upward. You guys know about it. We went to the estate sale, but you didn't tell you what kind of trucks we bought. I told you we bought a Fortune Major Diesel for Tractor Mike. You can catch that on the Nobody's page. It looks pretty dinky in the picture that he posted, actually. Behind that big old massive white. I mean, the duals on the white almost block the Fordson. So you can check that out on the No Buddies page. But what did I buy? I bought a couple trucks. One of them probably will be of interest to Balin Wire or to Austin. Yeah, the emblems are super cool on that Fordson. I almost stole one, but I didn't because they are pretty cool. But got one Ford, one Chevy. About a 66 F-250. Appears to be pretty much a complete truck. The tailgate was missing, but I found it in the barn, so I was excited about that. Plus, it's pretty good shape because it was in the barn. Cab's pretty rusty. Hood's beautiful on it. But just a complete old 66 F-250. And got Austin's attention. I think you guys, you and Balin Wire probably both appreciate this next one. 1969 Chevy C30. Big old 1-ton. Flatbed 1-ton C30 69 Chevy. There again, they just got him here today. The guy that's been hauling for me, I sent him after him. So haven't spent a lot of time with them. But kind of a neat old truck. You just don't see a lot of C30 dualies in that era. Yeah, Alex ready for the auction stuff. Yeah. It might take me a second to dig through it and get rearranged. But no, actually, believe it or not, Briggs, I was wondering. I bought the truck on pictures. Then when I got over there to look at it, I was kind of hoping it was a big block, but it wasn't. It was kind of one of those wah, wah, wah moments, but actually not all bad. It's actually, believe it or not, a 292, which a lot of guys still like those 292s. So kind of surprised me as well. However, you got a 1-ton dually flatbed with a 292 in it. And then they put aftermarket air on it. I seen the box hanging under the dash. So they put aftermarket air on as if the 292 wasn't working hard enough. They put aftermarket air on it. So Balin Wire's already calling dibs on it. I don't know a thing about it. I said I literally unloaded it about, it's 8 o'clock. We unloaded it about 3:30 today. Yeah, big block 6. That's about right. So I can't imagine what that thing, I don't know. I looked at it. I think it had some rust in the cab corners. Not a rocket is an understatement. I can't imagine that thing trying to pull a hill with the air on. Yeah, I'm sure it's a 4-speed. You could idle around the field with the AC on. You could do that. I don't think you could do much more. Fortunately, there's not a lot of hills out here, but I can't imagine what that thing would take that thing to pull a hill. But it would take an act of Congress, that's for sure. But like I said, we'll get there's a bunch of junk piled inside of it I need to get out. Yeah, I bet it's got 456 gears, I'm sure. And that's what I was thinking, Joe, because I get a lot of calls for 292s. So I know there's guys out there that want them because they're a pretty popular engine. I'm actually, when I seen it wasn't a big block, I was actually kind of glad it was a 292 versus just a 350. That's right, Nut Farm. It would be good for lunch break. You could sit in the truck and kind of cool down a bit. And yeah, that's why, like I said, the fact that as long as you got time, it'll go uphill. Because I get a lot of calls for 292s. So I know that they're a popular engine, and a lot of guys love them. So I wasn't all upset that it was a 292, believe it or not. But anyway, we'll be bringing you some content on that. I did shoot clips of both of them, as they were sitting in the old farmstead. Did some clips of digging in the barn, finding the tailgate. I got that shot. Found a couple of old truck doors in the barn. There were some international beds out there, 30s era, and I'm thinking maybe these doors were maybe off that international. I'm not sure. So I don't know. We'll see. But got the clips out there. So now that they're back here, I will start, I'll get some of the junk cleaned out of them, and we'll do a full walk around on them, open the hoods, kick the tires, look inside of them, and get that up here sometime in the near future. Speaking of lunch break, watching the cord shift was so cool. Yeah, that worked out really well when can't hardly imagine hopping, like we've talked about before last time I was at Auburn Cord Duesenberg, jumped in a $300,000 cord to go to lunch, took off, drove it down the streets of Broken Arrow. That video went up for members last Friday, I believe. So you guys are going to see it this week, or jump into the membership group and catch it now. But it will go public next Friday, and then we're going to do some cool cord stuff next week, even some auction stuff, I think, to coordinate with that video, because that was a great one. We took it to lunch, and Doug was driving, and he literally was pre-selecting the gears, stepping on the clutch, literally got to see that process happen going down the street. We've done a lot of stuff there on how those shift. We've got a specific video on how they shift. Looked at it in the car shifting, looked at it on a stand, looked at one. But this time we're driving down the road, watching it. Can't watch the transmission shift, but actually get to see what the driver did to make one of those 36 or 37 cord 810 or 812 shift with that, front wheel drive transmission with the electric over vacuum shifter they used in 1936 and 37. Crazy. So glad you enjoyed that, Pete. It's a cool video. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And like I said, in honor of that, we'll mix a few cord things in next week as well with what we've got going on next Sunday night's chat. But that was a fun video to shoot. It took a little work to put it together. I hope it came out okay, because it did take a little work to put all those pieces together. Jason Bradshaw here with us. Billy Bowman made it. But I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. It's pretty cool. On to the promo model. How's the auto start with the clutch work? I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, I wasn't even in it. I was shooting him back out, so I didn't see how he started it, and I don't remember when we jumped back in it how that exactly worked. But that's a good question. Nut Farm, next time we're down there, we'll have to check into some of that, so remind me. Last week, massive promo overload as we recapped where we were at up to that point in the big Chevrolet promo collection that Dad and I got from the estate last September. One thing we haven't looked at yet really were any of the Corvettes. So we're going to start with a Corvette tonight, one of the more common Corvettes we got, and we got a couple of just absolutely knockout Corvettes. There's some beautiful Corvette promos. So we'll start off with one of the more common ones, but stay tuned. If you like Corvette promos, rare Chevy promos, man, there's some Corvettes in here that are you just don't see. You just don't see them. John made it tonight. But tonight we're going to go back once again to 1980 to the yellow Corvette promo. This one is not a rare one. These are fairly common. These are great starter level promos. They don't cost hundreds of dollars like some of the earlier ones do. This one, just like all these, essentially brand new condition. No boxes. I didn't even dust this. And you can see what the condition like is on this thing. Not chipped up, not busted up. Just about like Tractor Mike's 79s. This one is an 80. Tractor Mike has a set of yellow 79s, one 4-speed, one automatic. But this one, and obviously that's one thing, the interior is also bright yellow based on the way they molded the plastic, where typically these would have had more of a buckskin type interior, but obviously for the toy promo model, this worked. So Jason was in kindergarten. That's about when I was. That's about where I would have been at that point. Yeah, that's right, Tractor Mike. Tractor Mike, fan of yellow Corvettes. Just 1 year off. So aren't your set 79s, Mike? But At Maroon 82, I think I've got that one too, Matt. That does ring a bell. So, yeah, Tractor Mike's are set. His set of yellow ones are 79s. And what the great thing about these is when you get back, some of the late 70s are okay. Some of the early 70s cars are a lot harder to find. But, you know, these cars can typically be bought for 20, 30 bucks, maybe 40 in the box. They're not, these early 80s Corvettes are not that expensive. Some of the C4s are even cheaper. But there again, if you want to start collecting some promos, these are great looking pieces and they don't break the bank to get into them. So there you have it for tonight's promo, venturing off slowly into some of the Corvettes, starting off with the yellow 1980. You guys ready for a badge? I know you're ready for this badge. How about another Hudson badge? This one has some pitting in it. Yes, it is just water. I had to go to a different cup, but it is just water. I had my other cup on my desk last night, and me and Shayla went and ate. And when I got back, there was water on my desk, and I was like, well, this thing cracked right in the middle of it. So I don't know what happened. It was just sitting on the desk. It was still sitting in the same spot. It just started leaking water, so I grabbed that. Lots of cars and trucks in Arizona. But this one has some pitting, but it's a great badge. Original paint, no chips or breaks. Gray Kitty did it possible. Bred out looking, yep. I think this is 53 from what I could tell. I could be a year off, but I think it's 53 on this Hudson Super Wasp badge. I thought this thing was so cool. This is one piece of pop metal. That's why it has some pitting in it. It's not busted or chipped. There goes the hearts. I think this is probably deserving of some hearts. This bolted right on the front edge of the front fender, right behind the headlight. This was for the right side. It's got an R on it. And the fender molding came right up to back to here. So the stain molding came up here, kind of ended right here. And then they had the Super Wasp right there. Lots of hearts for the Super Wasp. I kind of agree with that. You're right, Jess. I agree too. It's a great piece. So I was pretty excited about this one. Not huge, not tiny, nice size. 9.5 inches long by 1 3/4 inches. So 9.5 inches 3/4. I don't know what made it super. I can't say that I would totally disagree with that, Bill Disc, because it's a pretty cool piece. It's got kind of some, it almost looks kind of purplish, the color, but I believe it's original. You can see the thin spots in the paint, how there's not a lot of it left. So I don't think it was a bright red. I don't know if it was like a burgundy, because it kind of looks burgundy purplish. I don't know. Originally, I bet it was kind of a burgundy. I know Wasp was a model that they did make. I'm not extremely well versed on Hudsons. It's not like the 50s Buicks I grew up on. I know those things cold, but Hudsons I don't know a ton about. I do know it's a cool badge, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it because I was pretty excited about this. I found it at a swap meet a couple years ago, and it's actually been laying on the back of the old tow truck, and I seen it the other day. I was like, we need to do that one. That's a great piece. The Hudson Super Wasp. At least the chrome's nice and shiny. Like I said, unfortunately, it's got some pitting in it, but shoot, still a great piece. Looks like the 67 F100 Ranger. Now, you think this is cool? We got a great cap for tonight. Tonight's cap, I'm really excited about. I think you guys are going to be too. Full-size hubcap tonight. From 1950. I have to visit the back of the tow truck. I have so much stuff piled on the back of that tow truck. It's pretty cool. There's signs piled over there, caps, cans. Got a lot of cool stuff over there I need to get up. I did get a cool display case this week, though. How about a Hudson badge? This cap is awesome. We've had it for a while. I just found it cleaning the shop again last week, shockingly. This is one that we got in a big collection of caps that Addie bought, actually. And she's like, we're keeping this one. I was like, I am pretty much down with keeping this one because this is a pretty cool piece. Going back to 1950 and our friends from Chrysler, the 1950 Imperial cap. Oh, and get your sunglasses out. I seen Nut Farm had them out earlier. You are definitely going to need them with this one. This thing is bright, and it's big, and it is shiny on this 1950 Chrysler Imperial. Look at that. And yes, this is an enamel badge. You guys get a close-up on it. That is an actual enamel Chrysler badge. There goes the hearts. The badge. Just the badge. It's like almost, it's over 2.5 inches across on the Chrysler badge. Stainless steel cap. You can see on the backside how this badge is actually riveted on. And it definitely adds a little weight to this cap. There's Frank. Yeah, no kidding, Joe. You do not want to be in the way when this thing comes zinging off at you. But it's a good-looking piece. This one's in pretty good shape. It's got a few dings in it. Yeah, it's got a big dent right here by the valve, the hole for the valve stem. But regardless, it is great. Yeah, this is actually stamped in it. The ribbing is stamped in it. Yeah, right. And the Chrysler badge is embossed in it as well. So they knew exactly where to rivet that enamel badge on the front of this cap. I do not have just this badge, no. All I've got is of this one is just this cap. But it's a pretty good looking cap. I figure you guys would get a kick out of it as well because it is a great piece. Super Wasp had a 262 inline 6. Is it 15 inch? Let's see. Yeah, I think it is 15. Should be 15 inches, what I think it would be, Jim, the way it looks, because it's bigger than 14 and it ain't 16. So, but there it is, the 1950 Chrysler Imperial hubcap. You actually could use it to shave in it. There is some truth to that. It's about that good. I do not know that for sure, Jeff. But cool stuff tonight. The Hudson Super Wasp and the 1950 Chrysler Imperial cap. Oh, hello, Gray Kitty. How are you? How are you this evening, Gray Kitty? Meow. You gonna come say hi? You are? You can come say hi, Gray Kitty. Gray Kitty. All right, let's catch a little story time. Obviously, last week, Dad did his own story time. Tonight, we've got another one that he touched on last week. Not much on this. This one was a quick flip. Didn't need a lot of work. Did not stick around very long. But we still want to share the pictures of the car with you. Hudson badge. So let's dig out the old scrapbook and check out another one for story time. Now, you guys will remember last week, Dad got into detail on the 1974 Chevy pickup. And he touched on this next car right below it, the 1974 Chevy Vega camback wagon. Try to keep some of the glare off that so you guys can see it. And this one was not around very long. I didn't ask Dad what the deal was on this. Let's see. Because basically all he did was serviced it and did a safety inspection on it. I should have asked how he ended up with this, because there's very little information on it. I mean, most of these worksheets have tons of stuff on them. This worksheet doesn't have hardly anything on it. Even the wood grain on the scrapbook is cool. So this one was short and quick. Looks like it was around for a couple of months, August of 77 to about October of 77. So this was only a 3-year-old car, and it didn't say where it came from or what he had in it, but he sold it for $1,800. That's about all we know. But like I said, don't know a lot about it, not a lot of details on this particular camback. 74 Vega camback wagon. But like I said, we don't want to miss out on any of these. Even if we don't have a lot of paperwork on them, we still want to check them out. Right below the 74 Chevy pickup we discussed last week. No, you bet, Kenny, no problem. All right, let's talk about the raffle, and let's auction some stuff off and maybe get into a little bit of a magazine later on. We'll see how things go. This month's raffle, who got in this week? Who's in the big Buick oil can for the set of license plates? All 1951s, however, with the 52 and the 53 update on the license plates. All three of them going in this set. Who got in this week? Tony Napoli, Alec Blanchett, Matt Williams, and Kevin Brown. The new entries into the big Buick oil can this week for the license plates. We've been talking about trying to do some different things with the raffle, having some different ideas. Whoops. Because the raffle entries have dropped dramatically. They're still at a fraction of what they were a year or two ago. We will give away that set. I think we'll give away one other plate with it. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and give away, the third, we'll do a drawing for 10 entries into next month's raffle to kick it off. I do think you guys are going to love that as well. So let's see what we got over here. See what we kind of got for plates here. All right, we'll go ahead and throw an extra plate in this one. Yes, Austin, next week. Let's throw this one in for the second name out of the hat. A 37 Kansas. So we'll give away those three, this one, and then entries into the next month's raffle, which I think you guys are really going to dig. So what the heck? Let's throw that in as well. I want to try to give away a decent amount of stuff. Like I said, just the entries had dropped off dramatically. So, it's like I always tell you guys, this stuff has to feed itself. It's got to at least make enough to buy more stuff to keep doing it. So next week, yes, if you're not in, you've still got one more week. We will give this stuff away next week on the raffle. Okay. I guess that gets us close to auction time, right? I'm sure you guys are always up for that. That one's going in there. It's in the raffle now, Brett. There's nothing we can do about it. It's already in the raffle. Hudson badge. So, yeah. Okay, Pete, we're getting there. Calm down. Let me regroup here a little bit. Like I said, I kind of piled these boxes up. No problem, Brett. We'll have some plates coming up here shortly. All right, let me regroup here. Bear with me a minute, guys. All right. Everybody's ready for the auction. What do I want to start with? Got all kinds of stuff in here. All right. As always, we'll hold up a piece. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that car. We'll talk about any damage. We'll give you some dimensions on it. We'll let you know how big it is. As we're describing all that, if it's a piece that you're interested in, go ahead, throw a bid out there so we know where we're at. After we get done with the description, we will put it on a timer right here on my phone. I keep my phone right next to the comments so I can keep an eye on the comments as well as the time. We will go 90 seconds. I will tell you when 30 seconds has passed. I will tell you when 60 seconds has passed. At 90 seconds on my phone, I will announce the winner based on what I see on my screen. We're just going to do small stuff tonight, so shipping in the 48 states will be included. Please remember, if you just have one or two small items, I will wait a week or two, see if you get some more stuff to go with it before I ship, just to try to maximize what we're getting for our shipping dollars. On non-U.S. bidders, you are welcome to play. However, you will have to get me paid in U.S. funds as well as any transaction fees, and then you will be responsible for non-U.S. shipping because this thing, like I said, feeds itself, and it's pretty easy to spend a small fortune shipping one package out of the country. So, anyway, that being said, we'll go ahead and start working our way through a few of these things. We'll start off with a few smaller pieces. Got to try to get a birthday present tonight. It'll be 51 on Tuesday. Okay. What do you want us to sell, Matt? I'll see if we got something like you may like. We'll start off with a few smaller pieces here and kind of keep an eye out. And I will announce all the bids as I see them. Badges. I don't know what I got for badges and emblems in here tonight. I will keep an eye out, or I will announce the bids as I see them on the first few items. If after we get through the first few, if we have several bids come in at the same time, I will only announce the high bid. And we'll kind of start working our way through some of this stuff. I do have one kind of a unique, I guess it's not an enamel badge, but kind of a cool piece I was thinking we're going to do tonight, though, Matt. So keep that in mind. We'll start off with a license plate. What all do I got here for plates? We got a lot of great plates. If you guys remember, I just got 511 more license plates, a lot of other state stuff. Let's start off with a pair of Kansas stuff. And then we'll work our way into some of this other stuff. And this is a set. So you're going to be getting a pair of these of 1972 Kansas. And these are numerically ordered non-highway. So these are kind of cool. They are, I think they're new. Yeah, these are new. A few scuffs and scratches from storage over the years. But a beautiful pair, number 81 and 82, new old stock Kansas non-highway license plates. Tractor Mike at 5. So obviously you can see the shine on these, the condition of these. They're not beat up. They're not bent up. The backs of them just as nice. A numerical set. Briggs 10 of non-highway 1972 Kansas plates. So Gary 12. Let's go ahead and get this on the timer. You're getting both of them for one money. Tractor Mike 13. We are live and on the timer. And here we go. Keep wanting to watch Facebook. I don't have to watch Facebook again tonight. Austin 15, Briggs 15. $30 seconds gone. I've got Austin and Briggs both at 15. I had Austin first. I bet there's a 20 out there somewhere anyway, though, so. Coming up on the 60-second mark. Tractor Mike at 16. Dennis, 25. And there's 60 seconds gone. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left. Briggs at 20. I got Dennis at 25 already. You're getting both of them. Dennis at 25. We're ticking away coming down to the end of this one. Remember, we're only going 90 seconds now. And that does it. Dennis at 25. My hand was starting to cramp. It's a good thing we got there when we did. Dennis at 25. All right, let's do a handful of toys. We're going to do a little grouping of toys. This one, a man oil fire truck. That's right, Dan. It's your birth month, Matt. Paint loss, but not really any physical damage as far as chips, breaks, anything like that on the little man oil fire truck. It is 4.5 on the little man oil fire truck. Going along with it, this does not have a name brand, but it does say made in the USA. And this is a pretty cool piece. It does have some paint loss on this killer little panel truck. Not very descriptive. It's kind of universal. It was orange. Most of the orange is gone. And it is 4 inches. It's a great panel truck. It really is. So you're getting both of these and one other piece. Unfortunately, this piece is broke. But, man, this thing would have been super crazy cool. Glen 10. This is a hard rubber, probably late 30s. It looks like it says Arcade, Arcure, something like that, toys. Glen 10, Nut Farm 10. We'll catch you here in a second, Bale and Wire, after we do this one. Look at this thing. It looks amazing from this side. It's got a crack. It was broke. I think somebody broke it and glued it together. And it's got a chip out of this side. When you look at it from this side, it looks amazing. Glenn at 20, all like futuristic. Like I said, I think it's late 30s, boat tail type design, split back window. If this thing wasn't rough, this thing would be amazing. Bottom side does have the tires and wheels on it. But we're going to do all three of them. None of them are perfect, but there's some really cool pieces. Baling Wire wants to take a little bit better look at the fire truck again. And then we're going to get started on the timer. We've got Glenn at 20. You're getting all three of them. All right. There they are. All three pieces. One-shot deal. And here we go. We got Glenn at 20. Baling Wire 25. Glenn 30. "30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Coming up on that 1 minute mark. One minute gone, 30 seconds left. Glenn at 30. All three of them, one-shot deal. That's only $10 a piece. It's a great deal. Getting ready to wind this one up. Glenn at 30. And that does it. Going to Glenn's desk for 30. Cool toys. Hey, we got another member on the Nobody's page. 94. 6 people away from 100 on the Nobody's page. That's crazy, guys. Almost to that 100 number. That's nutso. I can't believe that. That's right, Glenn. Okay, what do we want to do next? We got some cool stuff in here. Anybody want to do kind of some average cans? I got a pair of cans here that are kind of average if anybody's interested in those. Okay. Mobile cans. A pair, average condition. First one. They do both have the Pegasus, though. This is an aluminum can, believe it or not. It's got some discoloration on it. This side's a little worse. Has the spout where they jabbed it with it and jabbed the hole in it. This was actually Arctic, Mobile Arctic, stamped right in the top of it. Going along with it, there again, since this is kind of medium range quality, this one was a metal one, a steel one, and it was steel painted with the Gargoyle or with the Pegasus on it as well. Not Gargoyle, newer than that. This one's been cut out both ends. So, medium range condition, but that's why there's a pair of them. You guys tell me what you think on this set of cans. We'll sell them both to you if you want them. If not, we'll mix them in with some other stuff. Still can't believe we hit 94 members. Randy at 10. Kevin at 10. Okay, so there is a little bit of interest in them. So let's go ahead and go with them. We'll go ahead and start them off. I had Randy at 10 first. Randy Weininger at 10 first. Oh, Jill Tatum is number 93 or 94. And Mike Tatum. Sweet. Kevin L, 15. You're getting the pair. I need to be looking at what we want to do next. Randy, 18. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. We missed the 30-second mark, but here is 1 minute gone. Randy at 18 on the pair. Getting ready to wrap this one up. Randy at 18. And that does it. Going to Randy's collection. All right, we need to get some caps worked in. We haven't done any caps yet. How about a Hudson badge? We need a Hudson badge, though. Yeah, we need an Auburn badge, too. Why not, right? We definitely need an Auburn badge. This is like a 47, 48 Chevy car cap. They reproduce these. You can buy them new. What's great about this one is it has a good shine, it has a few dings, and it's got original paint. So for a display piece, it's awesome. Check this one out. Has these almost kind of like some of the hood ornaments Chevrolet used, the Chevrolet block letters in them. Some chipping in the paint, but it appears to be original paint. Blue in the letters, red in the swoops, and blue in these lines. Hold it back here and take a look at it. You see some dings, dents. There you go, Brett. But just a nice display cap. It is on the back, steel-based cap with a chrome cap over the top of the steel base. This cap is 10 inches in diameter. And like I said, it's 47, 48-ish era on this Chevy cap. Kevin L at 10. Let's get this thing rolling. Kevin L at 10. Brett, 25. It's a good-looking cap. Like I said, they're not rare, but it's a sharp cap. And with a lot of the original paint left on it, it looks great, has good color. Just a nice display piece. Brett at 25 is our high bidder. Gary at 14. I already got Brett at 25. 41 used it also. Could have been, John. I know it was somewhere right in that window. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Brett at 25. Kenny's got one. Yep. Like I said, they're not extremely rare. Just the cool part about this one is still having some of the original coloring to it. Coming up on that 1 minute mark, Brett at 25. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left. Got it from me. Okay. Ooh. Ticking away on this one, I've got Brett at 25. And that'll do it. Brett at 25. Let's do a different plate and an early plate. Oh, man, almost 100 years early. And a different state. Let's go up north to the Rust Belt in Minnesota to 1929. Yeah, Dennis, I actually have a promo right here, believe it or not. Have one laying here on the desk. 1929 Minnesota. It has some surface rust on this end. Yep, I'll just set it off the side for you, Brett. When you're back next time you're up this way, we'll take care of it. Appears to be original paint. It is black, white numerals. Tractor Mike 3, Gary 14. 1929, so 96 years old. 14 and a half by about 4 3/8 on this one. Hate Minnesota. Matt got a 31 Minnesota off the auction. Well, here's a 29. So anyway, I've got Gary at 14. You can see condition on this is pretty decent considering its age. Gary at 14, and let's get this thing on the timer, and away we go. Coming up on the 30-second mark, we've got Gary at 14. There's 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Wake up, wake up. Tractor Mike says so. Coming up on the 60-second mark. Still not much action on this. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Gary at 14. Jesse, 15. Briggs, 15. I had Jesse first. A few seconds left. We got a little bit of time left to go. Jesse at 15. Gary, 16. Matt, 18. Briggs, 18. I had Matt first. And that does it. Matt at 18. Okay, Matt wanted a badge. Well, this is kind of a badge. I don't know much about this. I know there were 2 on the shelf. I bought them both. It is new. I don't know if it is an old reproduction or if it is original. So I'm going to preface that with that. I'm keeping one. I'm selling one. But this is kind of a unique piece. We've done some delete plates in the past because delete plates really even though they were to delete a clock or delete a radio or some sort of accessory, they were usually pretty ornamental and pretty cool. And we've had some amazing ones on here that you guys have really liked. And it's like a badge or an emblem. They're great pieces. And the design work that went into a lot of them were kind of crazy. Well, that's kind of what we've got right now. But I don't know the whole story, and not really anybody does. But it's a very unique piece. Like I said, there were 2 of them left on the shelf. I believe it was a clock delete. I have not cleaned this, polished this. I have not touched this. But it comes from Auburn Cord Duesenberg, and I believe it was a clock delete for a 30s era Auburn. So this is kind of cool. Now, the back of this is kind of shiny metal. So I don't know if this is Newell stock or if they made a run of these, but why would they make a run? You know, did Doug's dad make a run of these in the 70s? But why would you make a run of clock deletes? If you're restoring these cars, you put a clock in them. It does appear to be new. It's not scratched up. It is dirty from laying on the shelf. But like I said, I just don't know a heck of a lot about them. I'm keeping the other one, obviously, for my collection. It's 2 3/4 across the face of it. Actually, it's about 2 3/4 tall. It is printed or painted or something. It is paint, I think. I don't know if you guys can tell by the reflection on it. Tractor Mike 15. But I think it's a clock delete plate. Like I said, there were 2 of them on the shelf. I bought them both. I don't know a thing about them. Doug didn't know a thing about them. But it's a pretty cool little badge piece. Like I said, I can't imagine why they would reproduce a delete plate, because who would buy them? Most people are going to put a clock back in the car, if this was a clock delete, which is what I think it is. So anyway, there it is. It's brand new for whatever that's worth. Off the shelf at Auburn Cord Duesenberg. Kind of a cool little badge piece. So Tractor Mike 15, here we go. Let's see what happens. Like I said, there's 2 of them. I have one. This is the other one. Coming up on 30 seconds. Tractor Mike must be the only guy on this one. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Tractor Mike 22. Make sure he's in case somebody tries to jump in there and sneak around him. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Waycamp 22. Tractor Mike 23. Ticking away, getting ready to wrap this one up. A few seconds left. Tractor Mike 25. Just in case somebody's out there trying to snipe him. About ready to wrap it up. And that does it. Tractor Mike at 25. Those are still cool. I still dig it. All right, promo model. You guys been wanting a promo model? This is not a super fancy one, but it is a beautiful one. It's still in the box. We looked at this one a while back. It's one I actually ended up having a duplicate on. So we're going to sell you this one. In the box, 1975 Monza, white. So not the most desirable car, but condition is exceptional. Straight out of the box, not busted up, not chipped up. And there again, these cars are kind of starting to get a little bit of a following. So kind of a cool piece. Nothing else on the box. It is basically a plain white box other than 75 Monza on the end of it. So there we go. There is a pro. I've got one other one in there. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight or not, but I told you we'd get one of them squeezed in. 1975 Monza, new old stock, basically in the box on this promo. So unless we have no Monza fans, I don't see. It doesn't look like we have any Monza fans on here tonight. Tractor Mike was a Monza fan, but he got rid of his Monza. Kevin L, 25. Great piece, even though not the most popular car. There again, some of these promos are getting so hard to find that even some of the more common ones are getting to have a little bit of value. John, 27. As we're working our way towards that 30-second mark, Matt, 29. Dennis, 30. Gary, 30. There's 30 seconds. Kevin L, 35. Yes, Tractor Mike it was a coupe. It wasn't the fastback, but it was a super low mileage, really, really slick one. Dennis, 40. This one's bringing more. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left. Jeff already has this one. Coming up on the end of this one, Dennis at 40. Couple seconds left. Is that it? Are we done? Kevin L, 42. And that did it. Kevin L snuck that one in at about 128. That was quite a shot, but Kevin L at 42 on the little Monza promo. How about a grease cap? We haven't done a grease cap yet tonight, right, guys? This one's banged up a little bit, but there again, the emblem is what we're after. That's what displays. That's what we want to see. And this is a pretty unique one for the Willys 6. Now, this one, like we talked about on the one we had last week, this did not have the hex on it. It was all perfectly round all the way around. It had the two nubs, the two holes where the wrench went in them, which obviously these have slipped and damaged the holes. However, the Willys 6 is all pretty. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Supercharged Super Chat from the Nut Farm. Nut Farm is turning into Super Chat King. Super Chat, supercharged from the Nut Farm. Thanks, Nut Farm. Appreciate that. Every time we get a Super Chat, the 1935 Auburn Boat Tail Speedster Supercharged hood badge comes out. Appreciate that, Nut Farm. So, back to our Willys grease cap. Does have some dings up around here. Obviously, you can see the face of it is much broader than the internal ring where it screws on, internal threads there. You can see some of it on the inside where the actual design is in there on the back side. What would I do for $10? The outside face on this Willys 6 is 4 inches in diameter. The backside is 2 3/4. on the Willie 6 grease cap. It also, it's kind of hard to see right here. There is a little hole in that crease there as well. So wanted to make sure to clarify that too. So anyway, cool looking cap on the Willys 6 grease cap. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Nobody on it yet. Let's see what happens. Kevin L, 10. $30 seconds gone. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Kevin at 10. It's our only bid we got. Oh, this one was pretty cool, actually. 1 minute gone. Working our way down towards the end of this one. I don't know if everybody's sitting on their thumbs or if Kevin's going to steal this one for 10. That does it. That's it. Kevin at 10. Is there something hung up in here or something? That's kind of odd, but there was John, 12. Kevin at 10. So there was another one hiding in there. It just didn't come through. I'm going to show you guys another plate, and I don't know a thing about this. Condition is excellent. It's kind of, I don't know what it is. It's a different state, so I don't know anything about it. Going up north to Ohio, and it's kind of odd, but condition is excellent. It's been used because it's got a couple scratches in it. From 1966. I don't even know if this is even anything anybody would like, but it is a metal stamp tag, PL54. So it's kind of an odd number. Obviously, condition is crazy good on it. We can see it's got a few scratches on the P. I didn't polish this or anything. This is just exactly how it came out of the box. So for a plate that is, Tractor Mike wants it for 5, that, at this age still looks pretty darn decent. I don't know what the deal is with the PL54. It's just odd, but condition is so good. Randy at 10 that I figured I'd throw it up there. Obviously, there is a little bit of interest in it, though. We got Randy at 10. What the heck? Let's get this thing on the timer and get moving on it. Randy at 10. Tractor Mike at 11. At least the number's not too complicated to write down in my notes. That's a good idea, Kenny. State vehicle or fire, that's possible. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of an odd number. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tractor Mike at 11. There goes the hearts. Briggs, 13. Randy, 18. And that did it. Randy slid that one in right there at the end at 18 and got it done. Okay, what else do we want to do? Let's catch one more cap, and then we'll see where we're at. So that was a specialty plate. Okay, appreciate that, Dan. So that was a specialty plate, like probably a personalized plate, I'm guessing. So, okay, so it was a personalized plate. I guess that would make more sense. So Randy will be hanging in Randy's garage here soon. All right, let's catch another cap. We did a Chevy cap earlier. Let's do a Buick cap, a block print Buick cap. Oh, PL stood for personalized. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Like I said, condition was too good to leave it in the box. I needed to get it out and get it added to one of your guys' collections. This is a basic block print Buick. This is stamped in it. The ridges are stamped on the sides. The letters are stamped in it. Just the block print right across the front of them. This is about 11 inches in diameter. Obviously some dings and dents, but lots of hearts rolling again. Nice, bright, shiny chrome. The letters still have a decent amount of black in them. You can redo the black and really make them pop too on the little Buick cap. But not real fancy, just kind of pretty simple, straightforward Buick. So anyway, we're ready to go on the Buick cap, or does it go back in the box for later on? I guess it's going back in the box for later on. Give it a few more seconds. And then we can get, oh, there we go. Pete 10, Matt 10. They all popped up at the same time. Okay. That makes sense. Some of that stuff's getting hung up again. Let's go ahead and roll with it. Randy 14. Let's get this thing on the timer. I don't know if there's a little bit of lag in the feed tonight because all three of those hit like almost at the same time. Like they were all hung up in there. So. Randy at 14. And it isn't very often that we don't get a few bids on a cap right away. So. "30 seconds gone. Working our way towards that 1 minute mark. Randy at 14. And there's the 1 minute. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Count away up on that minute and a half mark. Randy at 14. Pete 17. And that does it. Pete at 17. Oh. All right, what do you think, guys? You want to squeeze another plate or two in, or we want to actually start get into the magazine? I was looking back. We haven't done a magazine in like a month. So I was going to get back into one of the auto trade journals for a little bit of that, unless you guys want to squeeze another license plate or two in here and go with that. So what do you guys think we ought to do? We're moving along pretty well tonight. A little bit smaller crowd, so we've been moving through things a little quicker than normal. So what do you guys think you want to do? Brett says more. What do we think? What's the general consensus? We'll have a Hudson badge while we think about it. Gary wants to see some more plates. I do not have brochures tonight. I do not have any brochures ready. I just got a haircut a couple weeks ago. All right, we can squeeze a few more plates in for sure. This is a pretty cool one. Okay, actually, I just realized I grabbed these two plates. I realized they're the same year. No old stuff. So we'll do these back to back because they're the same year, but they're different states and they've both got really cool color. So we'll do these two plates here next. I never looked at it that way, Gary, but you bring up a good point. And you still got to remember, I've still got 500 or 1,000 left on the shelf too. So, but that you do bring up a very valid point, Gary. If we don't keep selling plates, how are we going to sell them all? So we're going to do at least two more plates, and then we'll see how things go from there. See what you guys want to do after that. Let's have an Auburn badge, have a drink about it. And these two plates, these next two plates, we're going to sell them individually, but the colors on them are great, and they're the same year, and they're early. So let's go back 94 years to 1931. This one is a Kansas. It is a truck. It's been up a little bit, but not bad. It'll still mount flat on a wall. But this one has really cool font on the Kansas. The 31, it's got the T for a truck. It's green with white letters. This thing's over 90 years old. It shows a little bit of wear and tear. See the green on the back. Brett, 15. But just a really cool looking plate. And like I told you, they're the same year. So we've got another 31 coming up. Condition is about identical, but the colors are super killer on it as well. Mary at 20. So let's go ahead and sell this 1931 truck plate. We're on the timer. Mary at 20. Ellsworth County. Tractor Mike, 22. As we're nearing that 30-second mark. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Once again, the next one also 1931. Different state, different colors, but great look. One minute. 1 minute is gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tractor Mike, 22. About ready to wrap this one up. And that does it. Tractor Mike 22. Now, to go along with that, this one I've never seen before. I almost thought about keeping this one, but it really doesn't have any use for it since I've got a full set of Barton County plates. But there again, going back to 1931 with some really cool colors and going up north to Wisconsin. Look at this thing. Kind of a light blue, yellow letters. Back doesn't look half bad. This is from Wisconsin where they have rust. And look at this plate. 94 years old. It's kind of an odd size. It's like 12 3/8 by 4 3/4. So 12 3/8 by 4 3/4, Wisconsin, 1931, in kind of a, I don't want to say it's a baby blue, but it's not a real dark blue. But it's a pretty cool, pretty sharp plate. Like I said, I hadn't seen one before. I thought it was a great piece. And if I don't see any bids here pretty quick, I can throw it back in the box and then I get to keep it. So, because like I said, I was really on the fence on this one. I thought it was worth selling. Briggs 15, that's what I figured. I was like, there's got to be something hanging in there on this. Cali blue, it does kind of look California blue. I hadn't thought of that, Kenny, but you are right. On this 1931 Wisconsin. Briggs 15. And there's the 30-second mark. 30 seconds gone, 60 seconds left to go. A was the weight code, okay? I would agree with that, Brett, completely. Briggs at 15. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Briggs at 15. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Brett was just up there. About ready to wrap this one up. Jesse at 18. Briggs 20. Few seconds left. Briggs at 20. And that does it. Briggs at 20. Jesse had a 21 just too late. Gary had a 21. All come in just past that 90-second mark. All right. Well, congratulations to all the winners. And like I've told you guys before, if you just have one or two small things, I may wait a week or two before I ship your stuff. I think everything at this point is shipped other than Tony had one that I got at the end of the week that's packaged but didn't go out. So everything other than there's a couple back there that were just one piece that I was waiting to see if there's anything to go with them. Sounds good, Brett. Appreciate it. That everything else is pretty much on the way out to their new homes if it's not there yet. So anyway, actually we've got some time to get into a magazine tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, I was looking back and we have not gotten into a magazine in a month. There's just been so much other stuff going on. So kind of back to a somewhat normal schedule tonight for as crazy as things have been lately. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. If we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't, because that means we're doing other stuff. Tonight, we're actually got some time to check some of this stuff out. So let's go back to one of our automotive trade journals, which have been just a riot. See you later, Austin. Appreciate it. Glad everybody had fun. That's why we do it. Everybody's supposed to have fun and hopefully add a piece or two to your collection. So it's kind of crazy for as long as it's been. Nah, I wasn't planning on auction only next week, Pete. I was still planning on a regular one. I'll do that, Glenn. You've got a few other toys back there. You got any cars for me to come get? Got something for me to come pick up so I can come see you? Or batteries or cats or anything through the roof yet that we need to sell? So we'll get them to you for sure, Glenn. But just keep me posted. So if you haven't been with us in a while, because like I said, it's been a month since we've gotten into a magazine, but we've been bouncing back and forth between a few of these old automobile trade journals. We started with one from 1913. Glenn found us a couple. This is one that Glenn found us from 34. We've been spending some time with these and bouncing back and forth to some other newer magazines in the meantime. But sounds good, Glenn. Just let me know if something pops up. Sounds good, Briggs. We'll see you later. Let's go back to 1913. If you guys remember, there's been some absolutely amazing tidbits of history in this automobile trade journal from 1913. We've been flipping through this thing for, I bet, the better part of a year, on and off. So the crazy part about it is this thing has 330 pages, and we're up to page 130 in what we're looking at. So let's start checking some of this stuff out. Spend a few minutes with the Automobile Trade Journal and see what was going on in September. Well, actually, this is September 1913's issue. So we're going to be talking about stuff that was probably going on in July or August, 112 years ago in the car world. So now one thing about this, there's a lot of print. There's not a lot of pictures in some of these. So we're going to be talking about it. I will show you guys whenever there's something cool to show you. But some of this we're just going to be reading. Like, check this one out. New garages and sales rooms, as well as agency opportunities. Nut Farm's excited. So we're going to hear about some of the new ones, as well as some of the opportunities that are out there for agencies. Now, they weren't even called dealerships yet. So let's get into a little bit of this and check some of this stuff out. Let's see what we've got going with some of these new garages and sales rooms. Now, I'm looking at this while we're talking because I don't want to make marks in this magazine. Probably wouldn't matter, but I just don't really feel like I want to, scratch this thing up, even though it is a little rough after 112 years of existing and still being here for us today to enjoy. I know that's why I keep talking about it, Kenny. It's 112 years ago. Definitely a different time in the car world. Let's see. These are literally just small garages that are just kind of opening up all over the place. The Oakland Motor Company has leased the third floor of the building at Broadway and 62nd Street in New York City. So that was offices for Oakland, I'm assuming. The Peerless Motor Car Company of New York will occupy a $35,000 building being erected on Central Avenue in Newark, New Jersey. So that, you talk about those prices, imagine building a new office building in New Jersey for $35,000. You probably couldn't get the permits today for $35,000. The Stanley Motor Carriage Company has opened new quarters on South Flower Street in L.A. Here's one for Tractor Mike. R. Strasser, 100 Shady Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is erecting a garage to cost $7,000. So it's just crazy to think about that, these big buildings are 30,000, garages are 5 or 10,000. So, there again, we're looking back 112 years. These guys are building shops and offices for that. It's just crazy. Let's hear about some of the agency opportunities that are out there in case you wanted to open a dealership in 1913. Monitor. The Monitor Automobile Works, 1817 Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois. Open territories in Minneapolis and St. Paul, Omaha, Denver, Galveston, Boston, New York, and Philadelphia. So opportunities there if you want to sell new monitors. Glide has open territories in Peoria, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Henderson has open territories in Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, Ohio, and South Dakota. Marathon Motorworks, Nashville, Tennessee, open territory anywhere but California, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Nevada, North or South Dakota. Now, Marathon, obviously, if you guys remember, the American Picker store in Nashville is in the old Marathon Motorworks building. So it's always kind of interesting to hear about Marathon, because you can literally go there and see a couple of the cars, and they've been doing a ton of work to that building. I haven't been there since we did that shoot in 2018. So I bet there's a lot more that's been done even since then. Let's see. The National Motor Vehicle Company of Indianapolis, Indiana, has open territory in Alabama, Central Illinois, Mississippi, Central Missouri, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. Oh, man. I need to get some sleep tonight. Kelly Trucks. The Kelly Springfield Motor Truck Company of Springfield, Ohio, has open territories in Toronto, Canada, Detroit, Michigan, Buffalo, New York, Cincinnati, and Toledo, Portland, and Salt Lake City. So, I mean, literally, these things are, if you're in that area and you wanted to open a dealership, you could contact them and say, I'm interested in this territory. One of those shops for like the kits, like the dinner was at, the diner. No, I think these were actually buildings the way it sounds. You're right, Pete. That is a killer building. If you haven't been there, even if you're not an American Pickers fan, going and touring what they've done to that building is pretty amazing. Like I said, we did that shoot when we bought that cab over in 2018, and that's the last time I was there. So literally all these car manufacturers, the Monitor, the Borland Electric, the Glide, the Henderson, the Marathon, the Marmon, National, all these companies were looking for dealers to the point where they literally just put an ad in the paper and kind of say, hey, we've got openings here if you're interested. Nuts. Okay, speaking of those buildings, let's look at this next article. Don Lee of San Francisco, California, has just completed one of the largest garages and sales rooms in the West. The building is 5 stories with a complete garage, machine shop, sheet metal works, painting, upholstery, and top building department. The building is of reinforced concrete and stands at the corner of Van Ness and California Streets Lee is the California distributor of the Cadillac. While this is the only car of which he is the agent, he is accepting other makes in different departments. The sales room measures 70 by 70 with a restroom of 22 by 70. Under the mezzanine, the general offices are on the mezzanine floor with a stock room directly back. A small window connects the stock room with the cashier. The used car department is in a separate room directly back of the sales room. There are 2 elevators, one for passengers going from the sales room and from the other in the rear of the building, suitable for carrying the largest truck. There is a telephone exchange to all parts of the building. Kenny said he's been in that building. This one we're talking about, Kenny? This one in San Francisco? We worked in a shop about a block away years ago. Sweet. We've got a couple pictures of this building too, so bear with me, please. Okay. Let's see. It does not give a price on it of what it costs to do, but it does say air is piped to all parts of the building, and in the shop, air drills are used instead of electric drills. So, compressed air. Whenever a man is working, he can attach his drill. The shop is equipped with the most modern machinery, and the building throughout is ideal from a system standpoint. The Don Lee Garage, San Francisco, California, 1913. Hopefully you guys can get a good look at that. We'll hold it up here for a little bit so you guys can check it out. So is that kind of how you remember it, Kenny? Is it still standing? I guess that's another good question. Does it still exist? Yep, they still had the old car elevators in there. Sweet. Well, that's pretty cool. There again, that's why we do this. We're all learning. But it's so cool to talk about that, and Kenny's actually been there. All right, something else that we don't see on a regular basis just popping up in a trade journal. But they had it in 1913, a register of stolen automobiles. So, yep, you're right, Nut Farm. Let's see what's in the register of stolen automobiles. An Apperson from New York. A Buick in Pennsylvania. A Buick in California. A Buick in Philadelphia. A Cadillac in New York. It's kind of crazy. All the cars that are being stolen from all over the country are right here. A Chalmers from California, a Chalmers from PA, a Chalmers in PA, a Chalmers in California, a Chalmers in Toledo, a Chalmers in Detroit. Chalmers must have been like the Hellcats of the day, I guess. I don't know. A Doris was stolen in St. Louis. An EMF was stolen in San Francisco. An Everett was stolen in Galveston. A Flanders was stolen in Detroit. A Ford was stolen in Rhode Island. A Ford was stolen in Rhode Island. Another Ford in New York, PA, New York, New York, Rhode Island. Obviously, there were a ton of Fords on the road at that point, so not uncommon to see that many Fords in the stolen list. California, PA, Rhode Island. And then on into the Haynes. There was a Haynes stolen. 2 Haynes were stolen in Philadelphia. Philadelphia must have been rough. Because, man, there's a lot of cars being stolen in Philadelphia. Yeah, Bill Dish stole them. Hudson's. Hudson stolen in New York. Shockingly, there was a Hudson stolen in Philadelphia, a Hudson stolen in St. Louis, and a Hudson badge right here. An interstate stolen in Harrisburg, PA, instead of Philadelphia. A Marion in Rhode Island, a Maxwell in Philadelphia, a Mercer in Philadelphia. An Oakland in Detroit, an Oldsmobile in Philadelphia. Man, another Oldsmobile in Philadelphia, an Overland in Philadelphia. Man, this Philadelphia stuff must have been tough. A Packard, that was in Jersey. That Packard was in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Man, you didn't want to live in Philadelphia in 1913, apparently. And that's another good point, Kenny. And they have, and I'm just telling you where they're at, but it's telling you who it was and where it was. Like this first one, the Apperson was Fred Lehman, 159 West 2nd Street in New York. It literally gives all this information about the car or where it was stolen from. Yeah, wasn't much brotherly love there unless you wanted your car stolen. Holy cow. It's pretty tough out there the way it looks. But there again, that's all, the register of stolen automobiles is all on one page, and it was coast to coast information. The next one actually has some pictures, some information. We'll catch a couple more articles. Kenny says here it's about the same now. So, hey, it could be. I don't know. All I know is in 1913, it was looking a little tough when, a third of the page all were stolen out of Philadelphia. But a couple of articles here that look pretty interesting, and then we'll get ready to wind things down. So we'll probably cut a little early tonight, and that's okay. But here's something we're going to learn about that I've never even heard of. Bill just confirmed it's pretty rough. Okay. So we're going to learn a little bit about the 1914 Herreshoff. Yep, the 1914 Herreshoff. So let's do a little bit of studying on whatever this is, because I don't think I've ever even heard of the 1914 Herreshoff. Mary signing off. Glad you were here tonight, Mary. So let's see what Herreshoff had going on in 1914. A 6-cylinder and a 4 chassis can constitute the 1914 Herreshoff. 2 features, the 4-speed transmission and the Herreshoff Westinghouse electric starting and lighting system, which the company has found to be light and dependable, have been retained from last year. The cars differ mainly in the number of cylinders, body design, and length of wheelbase. So, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That forms another new one on me. So, the motor. The cylinders are of the L-head type, cast iron block, and have a 3 3/8 inch bore and 4.5 inch stroke. The 6-cylinder type develops 40 horsepower. The 4-cylinder, 30 horsepower. Okay? Does not give us a cubic inch on either one of them, though. Ignition by the Westinghouse system. The carburetor has 2 adjustments and is fed by gravity. Lubrication is by pump with an indicator on the dash. Cooling is by the thermosiphon system, aided by a fan behind the radiator. Clutch and transmission. The clutch is of the multi-disc type with 24 plates on the 6-cylinder type, 20 on the 4-cylinder. The transmission used on both models is the same. It gives 4 speeds forward and reverse with a direct drive on 4th. So, how about wheels, brakes, and springs? Sounds good, Randy. We'll see you later. Wheels are of the artillery type with 12 spokes front and rear. They are equipped with QD demountable rims, 34 by 4-inch tires. Are used on the 6-cylinder type, 32 by 3.5 on the 4. So you lose a half inch of meat on the 4-cylinder, but you're down to 30 horse, so you'll probably still hook up. Both service and emergency brakes operate on the rear wheel drums. Springs are semi-elliptic front and rear on the 4-cylinder, semi-elliptic front and full platform rear on the 6-cylinder. Other details. Bodies are made of sheet steel and are roomy and luxuriously upholstered. Steering gear is of the Worman sector type. Besides the lighting and starting system, the equipment includes top electric horn tools, tire carrier, foot rail, mat jack, windshield speedometer, and extra rim. What are you doing, Gray Kitty? Come here. Hey, you want to come say hi? So, what was funny about that is this is how they come equipped. With a jack, a windshield, a speedometer. That's how they're equipping them. Like, that's a big deal. Back then it was. Stuff didn't always have a speedometer, as crazy as that sounds in today's world. Prices of the 6-cylinder model are $1,850 and $1,900, and the 4-cylinder $1,350 to $1,650. Calm down. Hey, Gray Kitty. Another one of the cats from the shop just wandered in here, and Gray Kitty's a little bent out of shape. If somebody's in her domain. Hey, Gray Kitty, it's okay. All right. How about a little bit of other industry news? The Hamburg Carriage Works, Hamburg, Pennsylvania, has been succeeded by the Hahn Motor Truck and Wagon Company. The officers of the company are William Hahn, President, I.A. Diner, Vice President, Adam Hahn, Secretary, Henry Diesner, Treasurer. Ground has already been broken for the erection of a 2-story brick addition, 40 by 70, which will be devoted exclusively to truck work. There again, Kenny, the exact same thing. How exciting was to get a car with a glass in them? I was just wondering that, Nut Farm. Thanks for looking that up. 1913, the average income in the United States was $3,900. I'm actually kind of surprised it was that high, really, in 1913. But let's put this into perspective. For the Hamburg Carriage Works, succeeded by the Hahn Motor Truck and Wagon Company, ground has been broken. Now, granted, it's 2 stories, but it's 40 by 70. So to put that into perspective, this is to manufacture these truck bodies the way it sounds. And the shop that I'm in right now is 50 by 74. Just for me to work out of. And they were building truck bodies out of here. Cadillac service station, under the supervision of Walter Beal, has been moved to the Bakersfield Opera House, Bakersfield, California. W.J. T-Bolt will be the mechanic in charge of the new building. It is the plan to deal exclusively in Cadillac supplies. How about another new car that I haven't heard of? Maybe some of you guys have. I don't think I have. The new Vulcan, the latest arrival in the light car field. Anybody ever know what a Vulcan is? Anybody got a Vulcan? Anybody ever heard of a Vulcan? New one on me. But apparently in 1913, they were coming. Kevin L. never heard of it. Pete never heard of it. Well, we've got a picture of one. The new Vulcan, the lightest arrival in the light car field. Kenny's grandpa told him in his first car he got with glass, he went off the road, rolled it, and the glass broke and said it was a mess. There again, that newfangled technology, all that glass and stuff, I bet that took some getting used to. The Vulcan 27 Speedster, price $750. This one right here is our Vulcan Speedster. Calm down. It's okay, Gray Kitty. Brett just went through Bakersfield. So let's learn a little bit about the Vulcan real quick. This first public announcement of the new Vulcan car. Oh, by the way, price was $750 on the new Vulcan Speedster Model 27. This first public announcement of the new Vulcan car made by the Vulcan Manufacturing Company of Painesville, Ohio, reveals an uncommonly well-built car for the price. The Vulcan 27 was designed to fill the tremendous demand for a light car constructed on common sense lines to sell at a popular price, $750. Simplicity and durability have been the two main features aimed for, while ease of operation, comfortable riding qualities, and attractive appearance have also been admirably woven in its makeup. The purpose of the officers and engineers of the Vulcan Manufacturing Company from the time of its inception, was to build just one chassis and build it complete, including axles, transmission, steering gear, clutch, frame, and every part that enters into these various units. In order to accomplish this in the most economical manner, it called for quantity production and an immense number of special tools and fixtures for machining and finishing various parts. While the Vulcan is built with one chassis only, this chassis will be fitted with two bodies. For the two-passenger Speedster type, the term Speedster has been adopted. The other model is a five-passenger or family car. This chassis is identical to the Speedster except for the longer side members, increasing wheelbase from 105 to 115 inches, and heavier rear springs designed for the added weight. The Speedster, however, is the first to make its appearance. So where did the Vulcan come from? Steve stopped by. The officers and directors of the Vulcan Manufacturing Company are men of wide business experience. F.H. Murray, president, is a man with enviable reputation throughout the Buckeye State. R.G. Ewell, the vice president, is an authority on business economics and has behind him a countrywide experience in advertising and sales. E.D. Hartwell, the treasurer, who has charge of the finances, has had years of practical experience as a national bank manager and is a well-known and favorably known in Ohio banking circles. So, it sounded like they had it all together. The motor is of the four-cylinder, long-stroke L-head type. Cylinders are cast in block. The entire power plant, including the clutch, transmission, universal joint, and all operating levers, is built as one unit, the whole being suspended at one point on the forward end and 2 points at the rear. The cross member at the rear of the power plant is a radical departure from the power plant and a radical departure from the usual type, it being bolted through the center of the transmission's case. So, it sounds like this was all a one-shot deal, which probably did not make servicing it very convenient. We do show a sectional view of the Vulcan chassis here as well, where you can see this whole power plant unit all constructed and all put together in one piece. I'm sure they were really rough in cold climates. So there again, a little bit more on the Vulcan. I guess let's finish up the Vulcan, and then we'll probably get ready to wind things down for the night. Differential, brakes, wheels, and steering gear. The differential is of the bevel gear type, employing 5 pinions instead of 2, 3, or 4. These added pinions are claimed to increase the life of the differential from 25% to 50%. The pinions are nickel, steel, phosphor, bronze, brushed, and resolved on a drop forged spider, which is also provided with bronze bushings at the center to accept the live axle ends. The body springs. The Vulcan body combines attractive design with maximum comfort and roominess. The double 4-door permits entrance from either side of the car, because you got to remember, sometimes some of those cars back then, you just had entrance on the passenger side. It is built of live oak, reinforced with drop forged body irons securely bolted. So there again, oak construction on the body. The frame is covered with heavy, bright finish body steel. The seat is much wider than usual, and the back is high, supporting the shoulders. The relative positions of the cushion, back, and footboard have been carefully figured out to give the most comfortable riding position. The springs are long with ample clearance. They are 1 3/4 wide by 40 inches and fastened to large spring pads by drop forged clips. The steel used in Vulcan springs is a special alloy, which, while very flexible, will not set or break. The spring eyes are bushed with Tobin bronze spring bolts and are carefully ground to size and provided with grease cups. This construction ensures the longest wear and the absence of annoying squeaks usually found in a low-priced car. Now, one thing that I have noticed these last couple articles, they're all very adamant about making sure they're very clear about what kind of springs they have in them. Because these things rode rough. It's like riding on a buckboard wagon down a dirt road. So it's kind of funny. We don't even think about springs today. You know, McPherson strut suspensions, things like that. A spring rating, or how a spring is conducted, go down and check on and see what the spring rating is, or how the springs are set up on an Equinox. They're going to look at you like you're from Mars. Nobody cares. It's figured out. It works. Back in 1913, spring rate, spring length, all that stuff was hugely critical based on whether you were even going to be able to ride in one of these things. Sometimes these probably could bounce you out of them. They would probably get so rough. So I find that interesting that the springs have always, or every time we study one of these, is a pretty big deal. Yeah, you might have to light the floorboard on fire to stay warm. The fenders and skirts are made of heavy gauge, bright finish, tender steel with lips and beads to give stiffness and permanency to their shape. The bracketing is accomplished in the most ingenious manner, which combines lightweight with stiffness and economy. The headlight and fender brackets are combined in one, so that these parts are fastened together with a triangular leverage, making them practically one unit. The steps on either side of the car are supported by strong angle irons running across the entire width of the car beneath the steps. These irons are suspended from the main frame by vertical forgings. The hood, fenders, gas tank, and running boards are finished with 2 coats of black Japan baked on over a special metal primer. I wonder why, like 2 coats of black Japan. I wonder if that's supposed to be paint and they actually put Japan in there. I'm not sure. Baked on over a special metal primer, which prevents rust and causes the Japan to adhere to the metal. I wonder if spell check was getting them in 1913. The body is finished in a very attractive and pleasing shade of dark olive green. A deep finish is obtained by the use of 5 coats, each being thoroughly baked and rubbed. The trimmings are bright, triple-plated nickel. The equipment includes a large gas headlights, press-to-light tank with gauge, new type oil side and tail lights, mohair top with side curtains, automatic windshield, horn, speedometer, full kit of tools, jack, tire repair kit, and pump. The touring car specifications are the same as the Speedster except 115-inch wheelbase and 5-passenger body. The tank is under forward seat. Price complete $850 for the 4-passenger family car. So anyway, wrapping up the Vulcan for tonight. There again, more cool stuff that I hadn't heard of. But that's what's fun about this. The Vulcan car, as well as the Herreshoff for 1914. Thanks, Nut Farm. Appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to go ahead and start winding things down, getting ready to wrap up. We will do Toy Tuesday live Tuesday evening. So we will see some of you there. We'll get some more videos coming up. What do we got coming up this week for the public videos? Actually, we've got one coming up that's Wednesday that I hope you guys enjoy. It was a pretty tough one to make, but it'll be up Wednesday. And then, of course, Friday night, the Super Killer going to lunch in a 37-cord supercharged Phaeton. So, Black Japan is a general-purpose bituminous anti-corrosive compound suitable for coating inside of water tanks, drums, and other such applications. Okay, so Black Japan is actually something. Thanks, Pete. Glad you were able to check that out for us. So anyway, that's right, Bill. We are looking forward to the gathering of the Nobodies. We've got about 20 people signed up. So if you're interested, get with us, get with Pete, and we'll get you on the list for that. Get your $20 in for the lunch. It's going to be a good time, and it's coming up here pretty quick. It's got 2 months out, April 26th. It's going to be here before we know it. So please keep that in mind. Wichita Swap Meet coming up here in 2 weeks. I will be there as well. If we should have talked about that earlier. So I will be at the Wichita Swap Meet. I think it's the 6th and 7th of March. That's just around the corner. And spring is about here. I am hoping spring is here, actually, after this last week, because I am done with cold. I don't like cold anyway. I'm really done with cold after 2 or 3 days of highs of like 8. I'm out. I'm done. So anyhow, we'll do some Toy Tuesday evening. We'll get those other videos up Wednesday and Friday night, and we will definitely have some new members videos up as well. So I'll get to work on the digging video from last week. We'll get some video shot on that 69 C30 and that 66 F250. That's right, Kevin. Kind of crazy to think. Number 251. I don't know how well we are on our way to 500. That's a long ways ago, but we're still here. We're still ticking along. We're still having a good time, and that's all that matters. So we will see some of you Tuesday night. The rest of you, we sure hope to see you right back here next Sunday night. Same bat time, same bat station for some more Sunday night live chat. I hope everybody has a great week. I hope our weather is good. It's supposed to be spring-like here this week. Real quick, Kenny, its durability was quick, whereas durability was and quick dry was a favorite for early mass-produced automobiles such as Henry Ford's Model T. Okay, they're more on the Japan Black, so apparently spell check did not get them and change it on it before they went to print. Okay, sounds good, Brett. So, there again, we're all learning, and that's what makes this great, and that's what makes this such a great chat, is you guys finding out some of this stuff, adding it to the chat, and we're all learning. Learning about stuff from 1913. So anyway, we're going to wind down. We'll see some of you Tuesday. We definitely hope to see the rest of you back here Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. And thanks for stopping by and making this chat what it is. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next Sunday.